Before we jump into today's video, I want to give a quick shout out to our channel sponsor, Many Realms. If you're looking for Magic the Gathering and Magic the Gathering related supplies, be sure to check out ManyRealms.com. I'll post a link to their website in the video description, so be sure to go check them out. Hey, what's up everybody? How is everyone doing out there today? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG. And felt like time to open some Modern Horizons 3. So today we're going to do a little play booster box battle. How this thing is going to work. We have 5 participants. Each one of them is going to get 6 packs. We're going to open those packs in rounds of 3, adding up the mana values for all the rares and all the mythics. And at the end of this thing, this person with the highest total mana value amongst rares and mythics and the person with the lowest total mana value amongst rares and mythics are each going to get 3 additional MH3 booster packs out of this box. Give these a good shuffle here. MH3, like, I know Modern is quiet right now, just because, actually, it's kind of like Standard is all the rage with Final Fantasy, and, you know, upcoming we got Spider-Man. Edge of Eternities has been really good. So, Modern has kind of been, like, strangely silent, but you know what? Fetch lands, things like Tameo and Ocelot Prides, those are always a good time. So we will hope to pull some of those things today. Alright. One more shuffle in here before we distribute some packs. Alright. Here we go. So we have 5 for Michael C. 5 for... not 5, 6. Oh my goodness. No, 5. Jeez. All over the map. I feel like I already forgot what I just said. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 would yield different results. Alright. 5 for Jiggly. Oh, that's 6, right? 6 times. I don't know. Oh, it's 36 packs. Yeah. Okay. So, well, it's random. 1, 2, 3, 4, extra 5, which leaves us 3 and 3. There we go. We can do math. Okay, all right. We'll go 3, 2, 1. So we'll go 3 packs and then 2 pack and then 1 pack. Good luck, everyone. Let's have some fun. Michael, start us off. Okay. Japanese packs, stuff's at the front. Got it. Warm Power Stone. Start off with an Eldrazi Linebreaker. That is a 3 for mana value. Buried Alive, very nice. Fail the Profane. One thing about it is we don't count these for mana values, but there are some really strong uncommons here with things like Sink in a Stupor, Fail the Profane, Consign to Memory, 3, 4, 5, $6 uncommons. So we don't hate that. All right. Pack does not want to open. There we go. All right. Foil land, sure. Foil uncommon or foil common. Rare is a Kozilek's Command. Very nice. A lot of really strong rares in MH3, which is one reason I really like opening the set, because it's definitely not mythic or bust. There's definitely some nice top tier mythics, but plenty of good rares in there as well. Kozilek's Command is definitely one of those. That is a 2 for mana value. Ooh, and we have a mythic, and that is a Phyrexian Tower. Let's go. That is one of those mythics I never mind seeing more of. 0 for mana value. Awesome. A for awesome, though. Okay. We'll sleeve that up right away. And then we get into our 3rd pack here. Phyrexian Tower. Very nice. And that's out of the reprint slot. So it's almost like, I don't say bonus mythic, but when you pull, you can churn value from the reprint slot. It's a good day. Shield Gengar, Sire of Famine. That is a 5. Followed by a Branching Evolution. Not a bad card in its own right. That is a 3. And again, that will do it there. All right. So what do we got going on here? 3, 8, 10, 13, and it'll stay that way. 5, 10, 13. So 13 for Michael, which is actually a pretty low mana value, and a couple of pretty good rares and Phyrexian Tower. Solid start. All right, Fop, you are up next. Mindless Conscription. Rare is Monumental Henge. This is a 0 for mana value. Lots of rare lands in this set. Sabine's Reclamation. That is a 3. And that will do it there. I do tend to think that there's probably like around six or so mythics per box. So a lot of action left. Planar Genesis as a foil uncommon. Rare is Springheart Nantuko, another pretty good rare. That is a 2 for mana value. Mythic is Kalia of the Vast. Oh, Kalia. Not like a banger for value, but just one of those ever good commanders. And then we got behind that is Priest of Titania, is the retro frame uncommon. And that's going to do it there. We will sleeve up Kalia. Alright, and one more pack. Hopefully at least 2 to 3 fetch lands per box seems to be about the average. Sometimes you get a little bit more. It's a gold stamped art card. Cursed Wombat. Rare is Flare of Fortitude. That is a 4 for mana value. Flare sees a little bit of play in Commander for sure. Distinguished Conjure, a Sink, and a Stupor. There you go. You know, it's just like a $6 uncommon. We don't hate that. All right, so what do we got going on? 4, 8, 10, 13, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 13 it is. Whoa, okay. Back-to-back 13s to start. All right, Gothx Hero, to you. And I know it's a modern set, but 13 is actually still a pretty low number for these packs, considering multiple rares, Eldrazi, etc. So, start off with a Devourer of Destiny. Yeah, there we go. There's a 7 mana value. Followed by a Orum's Chant. Love me some Orum's Chant. Good old Isochron Scepter and Orum's Chant. It's a 1. And then that we'll do it there. On to the next one. Expel the Unworthy. Rare is a Borderless Abstruse Appropriation. Is a 4 for mana value. Really cool art on that. That is, it's fun. Decree of Justice. We are into the uncommons. So that will do it there. All right. Last pack for you in this first round. Feels like you will be over 13 mana value. Unless these are zeros. Breathe your last breath. Rare is Flare of Malice. Second Flare of the box. The one we want to see is Flare of Denial. Although I kind of still individually like, they don't see a ton of play, but I still individually like all the flares as a 4. And that's going to do it there. Bogart Trawler, Vexing Bauble, Band Amp Raptor. Sure. Okay. So we have ourselves a 4, 8, 9 plus 6, 7, excuse me, 16. So 7, 8, 12, 16 it is. And that will vault you into the high for the moment. I'm going to throw the Orum's Chant on top. All right. Jiggly. Oh, Psychic Frog Borderless. Wouldn't mind seeing one of those. All right. Malevolent Rumble. Rare Flare of Denial. There we go. Ask and you shall receive. Yeah, very cool. I think of the Flare cycle, this is still the one that, like, again, none of them are seeing a ton of play, but if one is going to like pop off, I think it's still this one at some point. Free counter spells tend to be pretty good. All right, that is a 3. Barbarian Ring, Strength of Harvest, Territory Color. That will do it there. We also have medallions. The medallions in this set, medallions in general, are starting to creep back up. Cat Warrior. Foil Rare is a Thief of Existence. That is a 3 for mana value. We should probably see at least 2 foil rares per box. Sometimes I see 3. Hey, is that our first? It sure is. That is our first fetch land. It is Wooded Foothills. Very nice. We like fetch lands. Ooh, Prismatic Ending, Special Guest. All right. It is a 1 mana value and it is a mythic, so we count it. A little Special Guest action in there. And we're into our 3rd pack. But for all that, not a ton of mana value sitting in front of me. Special Guest, Prismatic Ending. That one and the Thought Knots here. Definitely the 2 that I see most. He who should not be named. The Winged Wisdom. Terror of the Skies. Okay. Alright, so I will sleeve up the fetch land. I guess I'll sleeve up the Prismatic Ending because, you know, Special Guest. Technically a mythic as well. And let's see what we got going on here. So 0, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's crazy considering there was a Special Guest in there and a foil rare in there. That is a low mana value. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Wow. I thought the 16s were going to be actually pretty low. I was incorrect. All right. Leonski. Okay, another gold stamp card, art card. Ooh, foil Vexing Bauble. Neat. Rare is Sowing Mycospawn. Pretty good card. It's a 4 for mana value. Followed by an Estrid's Invocation. That is a 3 for mana value. Another Fell the Profane. Don't mind seeing those as uncommons. All right, next up. I fully intend to open some more Modern Horizons 3 for myself as well. Spymaster's Vault. That is a rare land. Is a 0 for mana value. And that's going to do it there. Shrieking Drake. Yep. Okay. Nobody wants to run away with the high, huh? Here we go. Foil Common, Thriving Skyclaw. Rare is Strict Serenade. Pretty good card. Very low mana value. And wow, another single rare pack. So that will do it there. Interesting. So 1 plus 3 is 4. That's an 8. 8 and 3 packs. Okay. All right, well, after our first round then, we go Michael C. with a 13, Fop with a 13, Goth with a 16, Jiggly with a 10, and Leonski in the low with an 8. All right, into round 2 we go. We have seen a solid amount of mythics where we've seen a Special Guest plus 2 regular set mythics. Should be plenty of action left there. We've seen 1 fetch land so far. All right, Michael, back to you for 2. Rare, hey, very nice. There's one of those rares we do not mind seeing. Psychic Frog, just an absolute menace. That is a 2 for mana value. Followed by Philia, Exuberant Shepherd. Philia is a very good card. Okay, and that's going to do it there. A couple of solid rares there for sure. All right. Next pack. Rare is Ripples of the Undeath, also actually a pretty good rare. Followed by a Fanatic of Ronus. Wow, all right. That's also a 2. No mythics in those 2 packs. Oh, Witch Enchanter. There's another one of those uncommons you do not mind seeing. I think Witch Enchanter's probably in like the $3 to $5 neighborhood as an uncommon as well. Well, we didn't see any mythics, but we saw some really good rares here. So 2, 4, 6, 8. And those are fairly top tier rares. All right, that's going to bring you to a 21 after all that. Fop, we are back to you. is Flare of Cultivation. So we might hit the whole cycle. What are we missing? We've got the blue, the black, so we're missing the red. Okay, Flare of Cultivation. It's a 3. Nightblade, Suppression Ray, Monstrous Vortex. Yep. Okay. So we hit the flare of we hit the red flare. We will have done the flare cycle in one box. Next pack. Foil rare Ophelia. Hey, I don't dislike that. That's not bad. That's a solid rare to get a foil copy of. That's a 2 for mana value. Followed by Echoes of Eternity, which is a big ol' beefy 6. Symbiote, Pinnacle Monk. Okay. Well, that's going to be a difference maker for mana. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 5 plus 6 is 11. Fop, it's going to put you at a 24 and will take you into the lead officially for the high, at least for the moment. There is another rare that's actually been creeping back up since it was reprinted. So it's one of the reprint slot rares. I think it's like, I can't remember the name of the card as I say it. I went blank. It's the 1-drop green. You can sack a land to give something hexproof. I think it's up to like $11 or $12 now. Otherwise, we've actually hit pretty much most of the rares you want to see. Arena of Glory would be another one that we wouldn't mind seeing as far as like the top tier rares. All right, here we go. Off to you for 2. We're going to start off with a Crabomination. That is a 6 for mana value. So you have the high coming into this. So 6 helps you quite a bit. Followed by Buried Alive. Love me some Buried Alive. All right, your next pack. Foil common. Rare is another Thief of Existence. This time the non-foil. That is a 3. Annoyed Althasor. Well, that is a 9 for mana value, which puts you at a 25 and takes you back into the high, at least for the moment. All right. Jiggly, you had an 8 coming into this round. Leonski was the only one lower than you with an 8. You had a 10, excuse me. Leonski was the only one lower than you with an 8. Let's see how this goes. Also, I feel like we should be due for a mythic. Rare is Abstruse Appropriation, this time in the regular, non-borderless. That is still a 4 for mana value. Deep Analysis, Rao, Tameo, Breaker of Creation. That's a good card. Okay, that is a 4. And next pack. Foil common. Rare is 6. 6 is also a very good rare. That is a 3 for mana value. And Meltdown, Glasswing, Mog Mop. All right. So that is a 7, which puts you at a 17 with Leonski behind you. Okay. Here we go. Leonski, you have an 8. You were the lowest. You're now 9 below Jiggly for the low at the moment. Phyrexian Worm token. Neat. Foil Uncommon Fell the Profane. Again, like I think it's like a $3 or $4 uncommon for the regular version. I imagine the foil version probably adds a little bit to it. Oh. Flare of Duplication. We have hit the flare cycle. We have hit all 5 of them in a single box. I do like this card, by the way. I think it's very good and underplayed. Deserted Temple, that is a 0. And a mythic is a Commander Mythic, Corum the Undertaker, which is a 4 for mana value. And that is going to do it there. Your next pack. We'll sleeve up the Corum here in just a moment. Usually about 1 Commander Mythic per box. Foil Rare Eldrazi Linebreaker. So there's a 3rd foil rare of the box. Pretty good. Linebreaker, that is a 3 for mana value, followed by a Detective's Phoenix. Another Noid Althasor, Razorgrass Ambush. And that is going to do it there. All right, so we got going on here? We have ourselves a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Still a 10 and a 13. 3, 6, 9 plus 4, 13 it is. It's going to bring you to a 21, which will relinquish the low for the moment. So here's what's interesting. We head into this last round here. We have Michael with a 21, Fop with a 24, Goth in the high technically with a 25, Jiggly in the low with a 17, and Leonski with a 21. We've seen the special guest mythic, a special guest, which are not guaranteed per box, but we got one there, and we got a commander mythic. We only have 2 mythics from this base set. So we have 5 packs left in the battle, but off to the side, we have 6 more packs from this box. And the question is, where are all the mythics hiding? Are they going to be hiding in these packs, or are they going to be waiting for somebody to open up in their prize packs? Let's find out. Michael. Also sitting on 1 fetch land for what that's worth. All right, Sage of the Unknowable. Rare is Sowing Mycospawn in the Borderless. I do love the art on that, and Mycospawn is quite a card. It is 4 mana value. And a single rare pack, Snow-Covered Waste, Stomp Stomp. That's going to do it there. So we add 4. It's going to bring you to a 25. I have a feeling this last round is going to get really interesting. Fop, you have a 24. You were chasing Goth by 1 coming into this round for the high. Retrofitted Transmogrant. Rare is Guide of Souls. Very good card. 1 mana value. And a single rare pack. Reform, Glasswing Grace, Triton Wavebreaker. That's going to do it there. So we add 1 to your total. That also gives you a 25. So right now we have 2 25s. Goth, you already have a 25. For my own sanity, I would appreciate you breaking the tie. I love fetch lands. I would be less excited to see one here for my own sanity. Alright, here we go. Foil uncommon is Copy Crook. Mythic, oh boy. Well, that's going to do it, huh? Emrakul the World Anew. That is a 12 mana value, and Eldrazi will do that to any battle. They will just come in and wreck stuff. Yeah, heck of a card. 12 mana value. Another rare in this is Ophiomancer, which is a 3. Okay, well, that's going to probably pretty firmly do it for you. So that's a 15, which puts you at a 40. And really changes the complexion of things now, because Jiggly has a 17 and Leonski has a 21. Then we have 2 25s over here. So if these are like multiple rare packs that also have higher mana values, you can still see the low shift. All right, Jiggly, you are in the driver's seat for the low at this moment. All right. Rare is Chthonian Nightmare. That is a 2. And it is a single rare pack. Victimize. Consign to Memory. Finally a Consign to Memory in this box. Very nice. And that gives you a 19 as a finished 19, which does give you officially the low. So we know who our low and our high are. Well, yeah. Leonski, you're chasing 19. That seems incredibly unlikely. Here we go. Twisted Riddle Keeper. It is another mythic, though. Oh, and it's a really good one. Very, very nice. That is Ugin's Labyrinth. So you will not get the high or the low, but consolation prizes aside, like, this is a pretty good one. That is still a really... And Urza's Incubator. Holy moly, that is quite a pack. That is the way to go out. If you are not going to win the high or the low, that is probably the perfect way to go out, or amongst the perfect ways. All right, so yeah, there's 3 mana value in there. Brings you to a 24. All right, final results here. Michael with a 25, Fop with a 25, Goth Hero with the Emrakul pull to take the high. Jiggly manages to stay in the low with a 19, and Leonski finishes with a 24. So now we did see a couple more mythics from those packs. We did see it, Ugin's Labyrinth and Emrakul, both pretty nice pulls in their own right. All right, Jiggly, you have the low, you have the honors. see if we can rip at least another fetch land and maybe 1 or 2 more mythics in these prize packs. All right, Deceptive Landscape. The rare is the Disruptor Flute. And it's going to do it there. All right. Right now, only sitting on a single fetch land box. And I have seen fetch land boxes that are in the 1 range. I don't know if I've ever seen a 0 for MH3 play boxes, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a 1 before. It is mostly common to have 2 to 3, though, and sometimes, like I said, 4. Foul Strike. Mythic, though. Hey, there we go. There's another Mythic. It is Rao, Monsoon Mage, which Rao does flip, and when he flips, the Leyline Prodigy is not to be trifled with. All right. Third pack. Aether Spike. Another Mythic, Ugin's Binding. There we go. So there was at least a couple Mythics hiding in these prize packs, albeit not top tier Mythics, but Mythics nonetheless. Like I'm not mad. Ugin's Binding, followed by a White of the Reliquary, Barbarian Ring, Planar Genesis, Marionette Apprentice, and that's gonna do it there. All right, Goth. 3 prize packs for you. Let's see what you can do. Full common Sarpedian Simulacrum. Rare is Volatile Stormdrake. And single rare pack. All right. Next one. Come on, one more fetch land, huh? Let's find me a Polluted Delta or something along those lines. Foil Amped Raptor. Mythic. Oh my gosh, how about that one instead? You know what? Save your pity, Polluted Delta. We will take Ocelot Prides around here. Very, very cool. Love me some Ocelot Pride. You know me. Kit Kats rule the day. All right. Jet Medallion, also a really good rare. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, last prize pack, but I feel like that still the most valuable card in the set is a base card, Ocelot Pride. That's spectacular. All right, foil uncommon Strength of the Harvest. Just out of curiosity, it looks like the single rare. It is Harbinger of the Seas, which is also not a bad rare. Haven of the Harvest. Okay. Harbinger of the Seas as a rare. And you know what? That's going to do it there. I have some sleeving to do while I'm sleeving. MH3, man. Again, I know like Modern just isn't the flavor right now. I feel like partially that's because Modern's a little stale. Standard is kind of all the rage. So not as much MH3 getting cracked, but I really like these play boxes. They're not cheap, but when you compare to like MH2, I mean MH2 draft boxes are like probably like 180. The set boxes at one point when they first came out were like what, almost 300 at one point. So the fact that like MH3 are still reasonably priced, did only end up with 1 fetch land, but like Phyrexian Tower, Ocelot Pride, Ugin's Labyrinth, a couple others in there, and just a really strong assortment of rares between the medallions, the Harbinger of the Sea. We saw a bunch in here with the Fanatic of Ronus, etc. I feel like the floor on these boxes is not to say you can't have bad boxes, but one of the reasons I really like opening these MH3 play boxes is because I think the floor is really reasonably high. Not to say again that you can't go to Pound Town on any given box, but I think your floor is at least pretty reasonable with MH3 play boxes, which is one of the reasons I like to keep opening with patrons as well. So anyways, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me. Hit the like button for me. By all means, drop me some comments. Appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks so much, everybody, and be well.